hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and I am joined by my creature, Ryan.
Arg, I'm angry at the injustice of my being.
You should.
Yes, I was. Well, I was born, I was created from the parts of several deceased individuals.
This makes you perfect to talk about this episode, which
I'm a freak.
is covering the 1994 sci-fi gothic horror Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, directed by Kenneth Branagh, starring Robert De Niro, Kenneth Branagh, Tom Hulce, I don't know how to say his last name, Helena Bonham Carter, Ian Holm, John Cleese, and Aidan Quinn. Stacked, baby.
Yeah, this is like, it's got your Brit All-Stars in it, and I hadn't really seen, because there's large swathes of this film that I don't remember, so I might have seen it in my youth. I always thought it was stupid and, bad. But watching it this time, I do like when, what's his name from Paddington that you love so fucking much? The father in Paddington, when he comes in.
Oh, is it Hugh Bonneville?
Yeah, when he bumps into him, he said, "Why don't you look where I'm going?"
I liked that, and I don't think you see him again.
No, that's the thing. It's it's made up of so many cameos, and there's some mainstays and stuff, but. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me throw you the synopsis, which I'm sure most of us have grown up knowing the story of Frankenstein.
Well, there's so many adaptions of it at this point. That,
yeah.
It's not
Tons.
even funny. I mean, Christ, there's another one that just came out. Isn't that serendipitous? Yeah.
Timely of us to cover Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah, because Guillermo del Toro just already did one. He did a Netflix.
We are all very aware because it's a top film right now. But
it'd be a Netflick, wouldn't it? 'Cause it wouldn't be plural. Netflick.
Sure. So the synopsis that I pulled from Letterboxd is: Victor Frankenstein is a promising young doctor who, devastated by the death of his mother during childbirth, becomes obsessed with bringing the dead back to life. His experiments lead to the creation of a monster, which Frankenstein has put together with the remains of corpses. It's not long before Frankenstein regrets his actions.
Oof, I mean, yeah. I mean, if only there was someone to tell him that this was a bad idea.
And the tagline of this film is, "Be warned." Be warned.
Warned of what?
Be warned.
The monster he's created? He's just wandering around.
Men shouldn't have babies.
Okay, that's
Men are
fine.
always trying to take over. It's just like Junior.
But Laura,
Junior is basically
that's
Frankenstein.
True. It is. Yeah, it kind of is. It's freaky. It shouldn't, Arnold shouldn't have been able to have that baby. But, yeah. It's a tale well told. I would even say a tale well worn at this point.
A tale as old as 1818.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about, is he knighted? Is he a Sir Kenneth Branagh?
Oh, well, of course he accepted the knighthood, Laura.
Why not?
Yeah, so Sir Kenneth Charles Branagh. And we're saying it right because it says here phonetically that it's Bran, as in Bran dash A. So it's Branagh.
I was saying Branagh.
Yeah, Branagh. Well, you kind of.
I can't do that.
You're starting to sound like me, Branagh.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, well, it's because I'm fucking awesome. So he's a British actor and filmmaker. You've seen him in all sorts of stuff. I don't even need to bring that out. He's well known for making Shakespearean adaptions, and that's quite a few of them. That's like Henry V, Much Ado About Nothing, Othello, Hamlet, and As You Like It. I think in Othello, if I'm correct, it's him next to Lawrence Fishburne. Fuck, yes it is. So it's him next to Lawrence Fishburne.
Much Ado About Nothing is one of my favorites, but I apologize for interrupting you.
No, that's fine, but it's because it's got Lawrence motherfucking Fishburne as Othello, and Othello is my favorite.
Fantastic.
It's my favorite. Shakespeare play. Yes, it's my favorite. I really like that. But yeah, I think Kenneth Branagh plays Iago in that, so that's pretty cool. In terms of his filmography, because really he's like the depths into which we would go into the Branagh-verse is it's very deep. So if you want to know what he's been acting in and stuff, fucking go look for that yourself. So really, we're gonna focus mostly on the features because he has quite a vast career. So in 1989, we start with Henry V. 91, we have Dead Again. In 92, we have Peter's Friends. 93, we have Much Ado About Nothing. Then in 94, we have Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. 95, in the bleak midwinter. Hamlet in 96, Love Labour's Lost in 2000, 2006. This is a doubler, so As You Like It and The Magic Flute, they both came out in 2006. 2007, Sleuth. 2011, he did Thor. Do you remember that? Do you remember when he was there? He was there also doing Marvel movies at the very incarnation of the Marvel verse as it was happening.
Super duper surprised he didn't try to play Thor.
After seeing him in Frankenstein, we are surprised.
What's up, Thor?
It's funny. You're like, what the shit?
I want to talk about Kenneth Branagh's abs for about 13 minutes.
And not to be like an awful person, but Thor's boring. But in 2014, he did Jack Ryan, also Shadow Recruit. That sounds horrific. 2015, he did an adaptation of Cinderella. No idea. Haven't seen that. In 2017, he made that terrible adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express. It's not very good, in my opinion. 2018, All Is True. 2020, Artemis Fowl for Disney Plus. And 2021, he did Belfast, and I think I still haven't watched it, but it seems to be like a love letter to his homeland, basically. I'd be very interested to watch that eventually. 2022, Death on the Nile. 2023, he did A Haunting in Venice. And he's got another film coming out called The Last Disturbance of Madeline Hind.
I saw that Cinderella in the theater. It has Richard Madden in it from Game of Thrones and Lily James.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like John Madden, like the NFL guy, but he's dead
What
now.
a Prince Charming that would have been.
Fucking awesome. Like, that guy fucking loved football. He really did. So
incredible.
Yeah.
This is quite obviously, if you haven't guessed yet, an adaptation of Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus.
I hope so. Oh, The Modern Prometheus?
That's the title.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
I have never read this novel. Did you read it? As a youngster or a young adult?
No, because it falls under the umbrella. I will say, like, I'm not particularly well read. Like, there's a lot of things out there that I probably should have read, like, over the course of my lifetime. I had very selective reading habits.
I mean, I'm with you there. I haven't read it either, but I would maybe. But it's one of those that have been so in like the zeitgeist or in culture embedded, so you're like, I know the story.
I mean, that's why I keep on saying the things like well worn, because like how many more adaptions can we get of the Frankenstein story? You know what I mean? Well, that's the thing. But then, like, really, what does it come down to? Like, the interpretation of the material has been, I don't know, like, almost close to like 100 films deep.
There's over 60 film adaptations of this story.
Right. So, really, like...
Of straight, from book to screen, and then you have stuff like Frankenweenie, and you have like Frankenstein.
Silly. And so, like, the idea of, like, reanimating a corpse and it comes back to life, like, it's a very traditional thing. So, for me, like, personally, it comes down a lot to the style. So if you say have a stylistic director like Guillermo del Toro, for example, I'd be quite interested in a Frankenstein from him, knowing from what his past work is. And then obviously Universal has its own version of what Frankenstein is, and then obviously the misinterpretation that the monster is called Frankenstein is just like proceeded obviously over the decades. But like to me, the things that are interesting about the story is in this instance is like how interesting is it visually to me. And the thing is I think this version of Frankenstein does a very good job of being very unique visually.
Yes.
It's kind of like to me personally, it's like looking at a stage play, like the way that it's staged. But then, and I watched a video recently about how we perceive modern films now, and like it doesn't feel as tangible as it did before, where you're basically sticking a bunch of actors in a very real setting, and you look at that and you're like, oh my God, I can believe that I'm there. It's like Lord of the Rings, basically. Lord of the Rings did more for tourism for New Zealand than any advertisement for New Zealand could have done. And it's all because it's set there and it's very tangible. And then you look at films, say, like the remake of The Jungle Book, which is more or less, it's just a bunch of folk going up against the green screen and everything looks very fake and designed, and you're just like, there's a lack of tangibility. And so for me at least, this kind of stakes up the the hallmark. I mean, there's a beautiful, because it's very vivid, it's very it's very highly saturated. The primary colors are very much primary, and it's like red, blues, and greens. Very good. And there's a scene where they're running on these meadows, and you can see the Swiss Alps in the background, and it looks phenomenal. And a lot of the set design is great. The thing I really like about the Frankenstein experiment stuff is like how it basically takes what Universal and the Hammer horror films have done with that story, modernized it, kind of played a little bit more with it, but then just kind of made it a little bit more violent than it had been before.
Right.
And yeah, I think the film does a good job of making sure that it's visually interesting. But I would also say that is also part of its detriment.
So, up to this point, this has been considered one of the truest adaptations of the novel. So, I find that, I mean, I don't doubt that from Branagh. Like, that is what he aims to do. Because the script, when it was in its first iteration, wasn't exactly what he wanted. And so he had hired Frank Darabont to come in and write a second draft because it was missing key elements from the book. So Steph Lady, which is a man, by the way, was the person who wrote the original that was greenlit and bought by Francis Ford Coppola's company, American Zoetrope. Because this was originally going to be a Coppola production and he was going to direct it, but he had just basically gotten out of Dracula, which is Bram Stoker's Dracula, and he was going to jump into Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Every so often, filmmakers of some kind think they can revitalize like the essence of these stories from like Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman, the Invisible Man. Like a lot of these,
It happens every year almost.
they always like, and I mean, Universal's they've dubbed it like their dark universe because everything has to be a universe at this point. But certainly, I don't have an issue with that. They did the Tom Cruise Mummy, and that basically just like killed whatever the fuck they were even thinking of doing. But there's been fantastic adaptations of The Mummy, The Wolfman, not so much. Although there's that Oliver Reed version, which is, I think it's The Curse of the Werewolf. That's fucking phenomenal.
Oh my God.
But
only because Oliver Reed is in it, not because it's good.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's phenomenal. But then, the Wolfman's been treated pretty poorly, like, over the decades. But The Mummy has actually been, that film's seen a lot of praise. I mean, there's obviously those Stephen Sommers versions. They're the ones that people kind of remember the most, other than the, say, like the classic one. And the Hammer Horror one, I think, is fucking cool. So, yeah, so like every so often there, there's a resurgence of this. So yeah, that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, tale as old as 1818.
But yeah, I mean, Bram Stoker's Dracula is not great.
When I really think about it, and when I kind of put those elements together when I was doing my research, I don't know why I never connected them before, but they're both Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah,
are both kind of beautiful looking garbage. They look so good, and they're like this cult thing.
Yeah.
That Bram Stoker's Dracula was able to achieve this kind of cult status because it is terrible, but it's so engaging to watch. This one hasn't gotten there yet, I don't think, for whatever reason, because I started when I watched it originally, I didn't watch it with those eyes where I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But when I watched it this second time, I go, oh no, this is just kind of bad. But I enjoyed it a lot more knowing that. I had a lot more fun with it because this story, as I had said, the script was rewritten by Darabont, who was at the Academy Awards the same year as this was for Shawshank Redemption. Okay? So you've got Frank Darabont, who is
to be
getting
fair,
lauded for the Shawshank Redemption.
Well, here's the thing. He didn't know at the point of doing the Shawshank Redemption it was going to become this thing. You know what I mean? Like the Shawshank Redemption being like considered one of the greatest films of all time.
But it's still
due
lost.
to popularity.
It's still lost at the Academy Awards.
To what?
Forrest Gump.
Oh, for script or for Best Picture?
Both.
Oh, I mean, Forrest Gump. I mean, it's Forrest Gump. Like, what do you say? But like, the script for Forrest Gump is pretty amazing. We have to put it out there. The Forrest Gump script it's up there with like Casablanca. Like, it's a really good script.
Yeah.
Like how that film was like able to be put together the way it was. Like that was a perfect balance of like Zemeckis' like technology, like, infusing in there, and then obviously like it to me, like I think Forrest Gump is a good movie, if not a great movie, to be fair. And I don't know if it's not my cup of tea every day, but every time I've seen it, I think that film's phenomenal.
I mean, it is a cultural phenomenon as well. I mean, you still have Bubba Gump restaurants to this day, and the movie came out in 1994.
Yeah. I mean, they're still obviously milking it. Obviously, you can't turn Forrest Gump into a franchise. Not after Jenny dies of AIDS.
Okay, well, Frank Darabont called the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein script the best script I ever wrote and the worst movie I've ever seen. He said, I don't know why Branagh needed to make this big, loud film. I don't know why it had to be this operatic attempt at filmmaking. And Kenneth Branagh said, we wanted to give a good rock and roll ride.
That's like the worst thing you could have done.
Because the script is incredibly subtle. From what he said, it's very... It's subtle. It takes moments to pause. It takes moments to reflect. And he said that Branagh is just screaming his way through the entire thing. Well,
it's like, to me, it hinges back on my argument about the style. And to me, personally, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is style over substance. And to say, like, to hear that, like Darabont's like, this is the best script I ever wrote. I mean, to be fair, his flourishes must be in how he... Actually, I don't know if I agree with him. Because then you also think about, like, because to me, is it like, is it because that line's in, like, being written and someone has to say it, i.e. Robert De Niro? But then, is it because the performance is bad? Or is it because the writing's not great?
I think it's because the way it was executed, because you've got a Kenneth Branagh film starring Kenneth Branagh. So
Yeah, aye.
he took
It's
the perfect script
yeah,
that
it feels very
Darabont...
self-indulgent.
He always is.
Yeah.
But he takes that, and then instead of taking the pace, he's running with it instead, and yelling all the lines instead of taking those moments. So it's just this kind of crazed Frankenstein experience rather than this like slow, methodical reflection on the story.
Yeah, it did make me feel as though when he built the monster, it took him 2 minutes.
I wanted him to be making the monster for 20 minutes because that is the most thrilling shit.
Yeah.
I love him in that lab. Also, he just seems to know how to do it and does it first try. I find that very weird.
Yeah.
He's also the most annoying student I've ever seen, but that's we'll talk about that.
Yeah. It's like day one, he's like disputing with the teachers, and it's all this kind of weird. I mean, there's also like, there's a lot of like technical issues that I have with the film as well. I mean, the film doesn't make a fantastic first impression. And that's when you see the opening scene with the crew that are on the ship going to the North Pole, and the ADR, but not only just the ADR, the fucking mix. It's horrific.
You have people saying lines and their mouths aren't moving at all.
But that's not even like that. Like, that's not the main issue. I mean, that's a problem, but that's not the main issue. Is that just like, have the sounds of the ocean be louder than the people who are talking? You have to ADR it, but you have to make it fucking realistic at least. I mean, it just kind of screams of just like, no, your sound mixer was being lazy that day, and that's the opening of your fucking film.
Aidan Quinn, also the captain, never looks cold.
Nope.
And he never gets frozen on his face.
It's very weird how, well, you know what? We're going to talk about him because I find the idea of that man coming into this story with that kind of attitude and then hearing the tale that Frankenstein weaves and then basically being like, no, and just taking a complete 180 and just being like, he deserves to be respected, the monster. And I'm like, really? Like, that's what you took from the story that Frankenstein told? Is that, like, he basically stole a bunch of dead bodies, sewed them together, and then covered them in amniotic fluid, and then electrified them with eels? And
well,
then,
you don't know how specific he got with the science.
I mean,
in
come
his tale.
on.
It's more about a moral.
Here's the thing, and this is how I see films that work on this flashback basis, right? Is that what we see is what the person telling the story is describing exactly as it is. So a 100%. I mean, do you think in the story, I mean, we're going to get to that scene in a second, but like, do you think, I'm pretty sure that when he was describing the story to the captain who was going to the North Pole, he basically kept on talking about how Robert De Niro and Kenneth Branagh were slip-sliding around in the amniotic fluid after he'd fucking gave birth to the guy.
Do you think that he also described to the captain how he fucked his sister?
Yes, because what you see is what's going on. So when the captain comes out of it, he's just like, I feel fully sympathetic towards the monster. He deserves to have human rights, which is basically what happens. And it's just like, oh, okay. And I mean, to me personally, he'd be like, well, yeah, I'm kind of glad Frankenstein's dead because not only was like he really into incest, because that seems to be obviously what he was into, he also took dead bodies, sewed them together, and then covered them in the amniotic fluid, and then electrified them to life with electric eels.
He fully committed a crime, if not several different crimes, in order to make this happen.
Well, that's obvious.
My biggest issue with the beginning of the film is that there's a little too much dog murder right at the top, and that upset me.
It's also not very good. Like, it looks bad. It looks like a guy who's being thrown at him stuffed dog toys, and he is punching them, and then they hit the ground. Like, it looks bad. Like,
Yeah,
it
but
looks really, really
It
bad.
can look bad, but when you have the sound effects of dogs being hurt, it makes me sad. It doesn't matter that they look fake.
Yeah, that's fine.
When you get a dog going, "Arr!" I get upset. You know?
Well, it's just not. It's just
hurts
not.
me.
Yeah, I know what hurts you, and it hurts me too. But it looks fake as fuck. Like, it looks bad. Like,
I'm just in it for the
good.
movie magic. I'm just here to get into the tale. And he killed a lot of dogs.
He did. I know. We just, yeah. I mean,
I bet those dogs would have just ran away. Those dogs aren't going to attack that guy.
No, at least like they're not going to continue attacking them after two of their friends die. That's usually how dogs aren't dumb. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, the film is. The thing is, the film to me, like, overall, it feels like a bad play.
You got to save this for the end. You got to save it for the end. What I would rather talk about...
Half naked Ian Holm?
Yes. You absolutely read my mind. You read my mind because I wanted to talk about Bilbo Baggins delivering his wife's baby topless, and he is so much hairier than I thought he would be. And he's supposed to be like the preeminent, the doctor of Europe, right? He's supposed to be the most prestigious doctor. And his son, Victor, is going to be a doctor too. And he's so proud. And he delivers this baby. What happens here? Okay, so she's having an issue giving birth, right? And she tells him, tells her husband.
Yeah, well, the situation looks mortal.
Oh, it's bad. So sweaty. He's topless.
Oh, yeah, like, what the
She's got her legs on his shoulders.
But no, you know why he's so prestigious?
Why?
He's going to punch through that womb and pull the baby out himself.
She says, just save the baby. And he takes not even a heartbeat and just rams a knife right through her legs.
Yeah. And
gets that baby out of there.
Yeah. And then punches her vagina and pulls him out. It's crazy. Just fucking punches the fuck out of it and pulls the baby out.
And then when he leaves and he's weeping on the most dangerous staircase I've ever seen.
It's probably my favorite shot in the whole film.
It looks great. I'm just saying.
It starts from so far away, which also makes me think, oh my God, their house is massive.
Yeah. Well, you see it from the outside. It's huge.
Well, that's the thing. There's only stairs on one side, and then the camera comes in from a very high fucking angle. Well, not high, but like really far away. So how the fuck are you supposed to get those cobwebs off on that other side of that room, like the hallway?
That's what you get help for. They've got money. They got that house. They got help. Don't worry about it.
Oh, so they've come in with their extra long dusters. Anyway, the camera comes in and pulls into him while he's on the stairs, and he's just like covered in blood. And it's like, I mean, to be fair, this is one of the goriest versions of Frankenstein's that I've seen.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, you can only punch so far,
just far enough to get that baby.
Just to get the baby.
You get to get that baby.
Which doesn't make any difference because, spoiler alert, that kid dies.
Yeah.
So it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. I mean, do you have John Cleese in your?
Not yet. Not yet, because I do have.
Because I am trying to read your mind.
I did. Oh, that was it was almost there. I wanted to talk about when Victor is at the party, his going away party before he leaves for medical school. And he asks his sister, and I understand it's not his sister. It's someone's kid. I don't know whose kid it is. And the family takes in this young girl, and she is raised as his sister, Elizabeth. Like, as a young kid.
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter.
Maybe, like, they're 6 years old or something.
Helena Bonham Carter and Kenneth Branagh, I think they were dating at the same time as making this movie.
What?
I think it was 90...
He was married to Emma Thompson.
Yeah, but she was a partner between 91 and 94.
Oh, I'm not aware of this.
Oh, so Yeah, no, he was partnered with her between 94 and 99. Emma Thompson divorced him in 95. Ooh.
Okay, so it seems like something happened here that I was not aware of this.
Did it happen on set?
And
Is that
maybe
what
it
she's
did.
saying?
Well, because he worked with Emma Thompson for several movies before this happened.
Somebody's been a bad boy, it looks like. I don't know. Good for you, mate. But yeah,
No,
I don't
you're
know.
absolutely right. He had an affair with her. Oh
Yeah.
no. Okay, we're gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna get more information about
Yeah,
this.
that's pretty fucked up.
This is
That's
bad.
not good.
It's
That's
like
not
he
good.
keeps working with Emma Thompson so he won't cheat on her, and then the one time they're not married in a film, he just goes off. Terrible.
That's not fair. Poor Emma Thompson. That's like what happens to her in Love Actually.
Quote, Emma Thompson, I had my heart very badly broken by Kenneth Branagh. Yep. Piece of shit.
Come on, Ken.
Also, Kenneth Branagh was like really good friends with Woody Allen, so, you know.
Well, hold on.
Poo-poo.
Hold on. Ken, who's the real monster now?
He always was.
Yeah.
He always was. That's the key to the story.
Yeah. Well, you said, well, hold on. Yeah. Well, no, he's like, in this movie, Frankenstein's like the poor man's Woody Allen. He just didn't go that far to like fully adopting someone and calling them their child before trying to marry them.
Yeah, instead he just marries his own sister.
Yeah.
He asked in
everyone's porn fantasy.
Or
Is that supposedly that happens with every
it-
stepsister.
Is it step? I think she's just adopted.
She is adopted, but she becomes a stepsister regardless, I think. Don't she?
No.
Adopted sister.
That's not how that works.
Oh, so maybe that's why it's like morally ambiguous. Certainly in well, he's Swiss, isn't he? So
The only
Switzerland.
thing to me that makes it morally rough is the fact that they just grew up together. So they were raised as siblings. If she had come in as an adopted sibling when he was maybe 15 or 14, that's different. In my opinion.
It's a very different time.
It just feels gross.
The 19th century.
It feels gross. Also, during that party, he takes her away. They're dancing all night together. And he asks her, how does a brother say goodbye to his sister?
Such a weird thing to fucking say.
And then they start making out.
Yeah, they do. And I'm like...
And he asks her to marry him. And she goes, oh, Victor. Victor, I couldn't think of anything I'd love more than to marry you. I'm like, barf.
Does anyone not know how morally ambiguous this is? Like, this is...
so
there's
gross.
it's like, stop trying to find reasons why this is... And the thing is, the father's still alive. Ian Holm's still alive by the time they get married.
He loves it, too.
And he doesn't protest.
Loves it.
What the fuck is going on in Switzerland, guys?
In the original 1818 version, Elizabeth is Victor Frankenstein's cousin from an Italian bourgeois family in
Why
Milan.
the fuck did that not happen?
Still a cousin. That's still gross.
Laura, people are still marrying and fucking their cousins today. Like, at least it's slightly passable.
Okay, and in the 18...
And that's not, hold on, that's not to say that if you do something enough over a long period of time, it becomes acceptable. That's not the case.
I'm talking about the 1831 version where Elizabeth, is a poor Italian orphan adopted by the family. So it's like she takes it a little bit further away from like being incest. And now in the 1831 version, she's just an orphan, which I think is probably more in tune with what they're trying to do in this Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. But it's just that she's... Bleh. I never get over it. Never get over it.
It is. It's like, it's weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we can kind of skip through how he went to school and was the absolute worst student of all time. But yeah, John Cleese shows up as one of his professors.
Yeah, he does.
What a treat.
It was a treat until his teeth started falling out of his mouth. And you're like, It's like there's that overhead shot that, like, because Victor's over John Cleese's body, and his teeth are there, and the camera like kind of comes out, and he's like, "No, I'll never learn the secret." And you're like just looking at John Cleese's mouth, and you're like,
Yeah, those big old fake chompers.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, it does make sense.
What's that?
At 48 minutes and 5 seconds into this film, we get a penis scene.
Yeah, and it's slightly more it's slightly more pronounced than we thought it was initially. We thought this was a blink and you miss it moment.
It's not.
It's also one of the biggest contributors to my overall rating is this sequence.
Now we can talk about whether or not it's real. I doubt it. I doubt it is. It's possible that some parts of it are real, but there is a prosthetic suit involved.
Yeah, so it's probably not. Yeah, it's probably maybe not his, but I don't know if we have any more evidence to the contrary because of how, obviously how expensive things were. But yeah.
So
it's such a weird scene. It really is.
This is the creature creation scene.
Oh, so this is it goes from being the best scene in the movie, which is obviously the creation of the monster, to one of the weirdest, oddest parts of the entire film.
Well, you're gonna have to remind me of what that is. But anyway,
I've got it memorized, so we'll see.
So Victor Frankenstein, our Kenneth Branagh, is fully lubed up with, I don't know if he's just sweaty at this point or if he's lubed up already with KY jelly.
Oh, right. I thought we were not at the slip slidey bit with the amniotic fluid, with the slime.
Well, I'm getting there. But I mean, up to this point already, like during this entire creature creation scene, he is topless. Kenneth Branagh's topless. I know he's not the naked one, but he is absolutely ripped.
He is, and it doesn't make any sense.
Ripped to such an extreme. Like, he's ripped to where, you see those people in those Marvel movies, and they get absolutely ripped.
It's slightly different with those because they are playing very exaggerated versions of, human-like individuals with superior powers.
Right.
Victor Frankenstein does not have that.
That's what I'm saying. Why does he look like that?
I don't fucking know.
Why was it his key thing? He goes, I'm going to play...
He also co-wrote and figured out and directed this fucking thing, so who knows?
I don't think he had anything to do with the writing.
Well, he read the book. He's the director. Of course, he had input in the writing. That's why he got a second writer.
But that's what I'm trying to express, is that there is no reason for a classic literary character such as this, who is going to school to be a doctor, to be absolutely torn up.
It doesn't make any sense.
That guy's got more than a six-pack. It's crazy. Most dudes, when they are in these movies, like a superhero movie, and they're ripped like that, to see all of their muscles and stuff, they have to be super dehydrated. This guy is insane. Why does Kenneth Branagh look like that? You guys, it's like he filmed himself for the female gaze. It's incomprehensible what's happening here. He's got his hair, he's all sweaty, he's running around and screaming and stuff. It's fantastic.
Ladies, just imagine Kenneth Branagh on top of you.
As Victor Frankenstein, as this character. Here's the thing. You said that to me laughing during the film. He goes, imagine that guy on top of you. And I think you said it as a joke, as though I'd be like, God, no way. No. I sat there for a while thinking about it. And you probably didn't want me to. But I thought it was going to be pretty good.
I mean, to be fair, it's not really left my mind. And I wasn't even that physically interested in it.
Yeah,
I was
Ryan, imagine it.
Well, I was beguiled. I mean, to be fair, if I was lying down in bed and his face just came out in the top of view, and I was just like, That's Kenneth Branagh.
Because normally you wouldn't think, ooh, wow, Kenneth Branagh is so hot. But
Yeah. Why are you doing this to me, Kenneth?
yeah, don't stop.
But we're missing the most important part of this scene, which is the slippy slide in the goop, which is like the reveal, and it's like it's like a game on Live and Kicking or fucking Funhouse or what you're more used to, which is like Nickelodeon Kids or whatever that shit is with the goop.
Yeah, the slime.
Oh, and he's just like slipping, he's falling. And like, I understand, he's just birthed this man. This man's not used these muscles since they've been dead. So
Also, he comes out of a tank which has a literal 1 ton of KY jelly in it. So he's got a 1 ton of lube that is poured out onto the floor in this set. And these two men are not grappling, but Frankenstein is trying to hold up the creature, which would be hard even if you knew how to walk and you weren't just birthed from corpse pieces.
Yeah.
He can't stand up. And also the difficult thing about this is that Robert De Niro is wearing a prosthetic suit that is sewn together. And as they're grappling and he's trying to hold up the creature, parts are ripping. Like this thing's not staying together very well. So there's a point where Kenneth Branagh said later the prosthetics were splitting in the place where a normal bottom splits. So the ass was just ripping apart in this costume while they were filming it. And you were able to see like underneath. And so Kenneth Branagh is like putting his hand like on his ass to try and cover up his ass while they're filming it. Yeah. So everything started to fall apart. So whoever's working on the props and stuff, John Cleese's teeth, this prosthetic suit, it's a lot of trouble.
It's fucking awful looking. And it goes on for so long. And it like every time like the monster falls over, it either cuts or it fucking crossfades. And it's like it goes on, and this is like my main issue with the movie in general, is it cuts to the same thing too many fucking times. I mean, it also makes me think as well, you're like, oh, there's a 1 ton of KY jelly, and it's like, well, of course it would be difficult for them, to do what they're doing in this, in this vat of KY jelly. My question is, why the fuck are we seeing them do it at all? It's one of the worst fucking things that I've ever seen. This is maybe one of the worst dick scenes purely on the basis that it's probably one of the most idiotic fucking things you need to include in a film. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can quite easily say and describe and show the exact same thing without it looking like a fucking game show on Funhouse. It makes no sense to me.
I'm countering this. I like it. I liked the boys getting wet, and I liked them sliding around on each other.
It's not good.
Don't care. I know that it's not good.
Because you can tell it looks like a fucking paddling pool they're in.
Well, during this whole KY slippy
and why would there be
scene,
a fucking paddling pool there at all? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
His bits are popping out hither and thither like the entire time.
And that's obviously it. Let's cross it back to here. Yeah, that means because they're slipping and sliding all over the place, and they cut around it because they do. You get to see a lot of what could be real, maybe not real.
Either way, it's a depiction of a penis popping around. I mean, he also gets hoisted up in chains, and he's just hanging there with his dick out as well.
There's a lot going on, and this is like, because I think, the one thing that I will say is that, like, there's this scene, but I mean, we haven't really spoken about it, is De Niro's performance as the monster is pretty captivating. And the thing is like, you do measure up, like, oh, well, is it captivating because, oh my God, he's like doing the best with this terrible fucking material? Or is it just like, oh my God, like that's really bad? And his performance is like this weird kind of like imbalance where it's like, oh my God, he's performing this line that should never have been performed that way, to these like monologues where you're just like, fucking hell, like you're staring into like his two eyes and figuring him out. Like it's very interesting, like what De Niro does with this, with what he has on offer. But
well, he studied stroke patients to learn how to make it look as though he was learning how to speak for the first time.
Right.
So that's how he starts speaking. He also had one big shoe and one little shoe to kind of depict him having two different legs. So he would walk around a little funny.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Because like that shuffle that he does is yeah. I like the fact that he has an explanation for why he would be shuffling like that.
Apparently it took a long time for them to figure it out. There was a point where they had tried on what if he wore one shoe and one roller skate. And like two different big shoes and like and it was all really, really difficult.
I like the idea of him just in one shot, just like gliding.
Yeah.
At some point, and you're just like, okay, cool. It looks like it's like that one shot in modern Spike Lee movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I love any time that he's creating a creature, because you know it also happens. You get a bride in this movie at the end, but I really did think that the machine and that whole room where he creates the creature looks like it was constructed out of material he grabbed from a shared dumpster behind a Pier 1 Imports and a Home Depot. And I liked it. I'm not shitting on it. I liked it.
I also felt
the tubes didn't even connect, and I liked that too. I don't care. It looked fun to me. There's
like that lab set, I think, is quite magical. I mean, the amniotic fluid that's like, it's like pulsating and stuff. You get all the notable gadgets and stuff, like the spinning things, like the smoke. You have no idea where that's coming from.
The electricity.
And
he's holding up the things and he's screaming.
Yeah.
It is like an opera, and it also almost feels like he's going to break into song, and I'm so there for it. I'm actually liking it the more we talk about it. To
be fair, yeah. I mean, if you watch it with the preeminence that like he might just break into song, that just kind of starts to, you know, slightly edge over the roughness in his acting.
He is acting as though he's doing a silly stage performance in a film. Like, he could have toned it down, but he was like, fuck this, I'm going crazy.
But it's weird though. It's like someone had a fucking gun to his head and he had to perform this way, and it's
his own gun.
It's like, you're doing self-suicide though, which is kind of what you end up doing, because to be fair, not only is he the least interesting part of the film, I mean, he pretty much isn't that interesting. The only person who isn't very interesting at all is Helena Bonham Carter.
But she's cute as heck.
Yeah, but it's Helena Bonham Carter. That's what I was going to say. Other than Justine.
Homewrecker.
Yeah, or Justine. Whoever played Justine. Fuck Justine. Fucking fake. But no, like, his performance is just... It just lacks that, like, because there should be like an element of chaos, and his idea of depicting like the chaos going on in Frankenstein's head is that he's just more or less topless for most of the time. So he's
topless and wet so much.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, but you're like, it's like, dude, I want to see like dark patches under the eyes. Like, I want to see a Victor von Frankenstein. Like, that's what I want.
Nah, that's not for this.
I don't get it.
You can go watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and you can see all that shit that you're expecting to see in this movie. This movie is an opera without the music. This movie is screaming in your face.
Or what would otherwise be known as a bad play.
No problem. I don't care. I loved it, and now I'm thinking I might love it. it's not chill. This movie's not chill at all. And that's fun to me. It's really fun.
Well, let's just get into these ratings.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I might change this. I'm gonna go for.
Well, this is for the scene.
For visibility and context, I'm gonna go. Oh God, I have 2.5, but then maybe I'm gonna go 3. It is dark, but it's there a lot. And my goodness, if you're gonna make a Frankenstein adaptation and you're constructing a human being out of a bunch of different parts, guess what? You're going to have a dick in there too. And if you're slip sliding around in KY jelly, if you don't see that dick, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, probably
you're doing it very wrong.
Probably hit Kenneth Branagh in the face a couple of times.
Absolutely.
Because they kept on falling on top of each other.
Yeah,
and I put that
he had that dick on his leg 1,000 times.
I put that in inverted commas because it looked like it was very... It's like that sort of thing where you go, oh no, and then you just kind of fall on someone.
It's like kind of slow and slippery. Oh, it's so funny. It's so good.
It's the worst thing fucking ever. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, you go ahead with your visibility and context.
It's such a weird one for me just because it's like not only the worst moment in the film, but it's also like it's the scene.
Disagree.
It's awful.
It's really good.
Mean, I would give it a 2.
Okay.
Like 2. Like contextually, I'm just like, well, again, it's another one of these instances where it's like, if it wasn't there, we wouldn't be talking about it. And it's like the primary moment. It's it's awful. It's like it's the worst part of the film. Like to me at least, it's just so fucking redundant. Because the thing is, like when they string him up, you see his dick. Then we would talk about it again. So this is maybe in a different league. Yeah, maybe give it 1.5 because I just like the scene so much.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, has 0 Harvey Keitels. It is not. This is not the moment. So yeah,
0 out of 5 Harvey Keitels.
Because that's the thing. Like I rate everything against Bad Lieutenant. Because that's my favorite. That's my 5-star moment. And it's like with this, I'm like, this could have been fantastic. And it's not. I'm like, just have a slow-mo shot in the mid of him like hoisting his monster out of the KY, and he's like,
then he wouldn't have had to have grabbed his ass and everything.
Yeah, but the thing is like you could just like you'd show him like stumbling a bit because you're like, oh my god, he's holding him up, but he's starting to learn, because him learning to walk and stuff, it's not fucking interesting because he's going to learn it. That's the thing, he is going to learn it. So to me, it's like what is this moment meant to be? And to me, it looks like fucking garbage. Like you could do something with that moment because it just looks like 2 men fumbling around in a fucking paddling pool of KY jelly. That's all it looks like.
Well, that's why I like it so much. For the film, for me, I gave it a 3. I'm gonna leave it there because I think that it can absolutely go up, especially after talking about it so much and talking about all that lube and talking about that lubed up Kenneth Branagh and that crispy prosthetic suit. Also, this movie is incredibly brutal from top to bottom, from beginning to end. When you're talking about murdering dogs, you're talking about childbirth that goes foul. You're talking about the birth.
Yeah.
I mean, he also brutalizes the creature
childbirth
with like stuff falling on its noggin and
yeah, he fucks him up.
I think that was an accident, but still. And then you have the whole Elizabeth thing, and there's fire. It is really intense and really gory, and I like it a lot.
Punches her heart out of her chest.
Yeah.
Well, you forgot about the child being murdered.
You didn't see that though. He does describe it, and it is rough.
He does describe it, and you're like, wow. It's like he literally I gripped that child's neck until it broke.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, and when you're talking about it, maybe it's one of the best adaptations in terms of being faithful to the original source material, but I think that there could have been a lot more done if you'd cut out a little bit of that lube scene, which I don't want to, but you could have maybe grown this relationship between him and the creature a little bit more, or grown the relationship between him and Elizabeth more. Like there's a lot more that could have been explored that wasn't, and it spent a little bit more time on topless Frankenstein than it did on anything else. But even at that, I think it's really enjoyable, and it's like 2 hours long. It's not overly long, but I'm kind of really into it right now. I don't know. It's not as good as Guillermo's version at all by any stretch. It's completely different, which is funny because it's exactly the same. But I don't know. 3 stars. I liked it.
Right. Because I was going to add to something that you just said, which was there's the slip and slide scene that just goes on for too long. You know what goes on for too long as well? The fucking ending. Because we cut to that fire for like a 4th or 5th time at one point, and the captain's looking at it and the fire, and then you're just like, come on, like it's gonna fucking die out. Like that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, no, though, that's that fucking stuff. I mean, to me, like the film. The more we talk about it, and the problem is that like because it's so severely boring, I don't know. Like it would be good with an audience, but the thing is, because it is so severely boring, like there's not a ton of stuff in it that's like super captivating, and it has like these little highlights. I gave it a fucking 2.
I had originally given it a 2 when I first saw it. I gave it 2, so.
Because it's below average, and you know what? I think people need to know. At least from me, it's definitely below average. But only by a half point, though, because there's still, like, interesting elements about it. I just feel like it's been completely squandered. Like, Frank Darabont's completely right, where he's like, yeah, no, I made this, I tried my best with the material, let's just say that. And then Kenneth Branagh just slapped a whole bunch of 6-pack all over it. And it just is, it's just like... You are perplexed by it, and its terribleness pervades it from the very beginning to the very fucking end. And you know what? That might be just a deliberate thing. I mean, maybe it was just like, yeah, this just doesn't click for me from beginning to end. That maybe Kenneth Branagh had a very deliberate idea for it. But it's still, to me, it's a below average film of something that, like, yeah, it probably doesn't even deserve a cult following.
Disagree.
I just don't know. I don't know.
I think I like it a lot.
I just think overall it's a little bit odd. It just gets odd. And you're like, huh. And you either ride with it or you don't. So I don't know. Maybe later. Maybe we can watch it again. We have it on a 4K.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, and the film looks nice enough as a 4K. Some films don't deserve a 4K. This is maybe one of those. But like, whatever.
I think you could put this up in a double feature with Bram Stoker's Dracula and have a really nice time. I did want to mention a couple things that I wrote down.
With an audience, though. You can't just do
that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would actually be super, super fun. But De Niro won the role over Andy Garcia and Gerard Depardieu. I forgot to mention that earlier. And
Gerard Depardieu would have been good.
He would have. I think
Andy Garcia, I'm like, what?
I know, that's a weird one.
Like,
I do think that De Niro gets a bit lost, but that's okay. I think he was still really interesting and fun. It had a $45 million budget and it made $112 million, and it opened second in the box office under Stargate. And it was nominated for Best Makeup at the Academy Awards, but Ed Wood won. And I said everything else. I did it. I got through everything.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I think everyone should watch it. It's really fun. I know you disagree.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not fun in elements. I think the thing is that I'm more disappointed.
That's fair.
That it wasn't more than what it could be. Because there's probably a rock opera version of Frankenstein that is like living and breathing within that movie. It just doesn't take it far enough, but it doesn't dial it enough back.
Well, I think that it's a really good time to watch this and then also go ahead and watch Guillermo's version that is out now.
I'm very excited to go see that.
If it's still out in the cinemas, everyone should go check it out. If not, watch it on Netflix.
I'm just probably going to watch it on my massive TV.
I watched it at the cinema. It was so good, and I almost cried 2 times watching the new Frankenstein. Really, really good. I did not feel like crying at all during this movie. I screamed more than anything. But make sure to Follow us on Letterboxd and Instagram. You can find our stuff at On The Beat, BITTE. And yeah, make sure to rate us if you want to. Make sure it's a high rating because that's nice. And tell your friends. And
just behave.
yeah. Well, no, don't behave. It's silly. Thank you so much for being here with me and coming to you from the University of Ingolstadt. I have been Laura.
Number 2.
Wrong movie. Shit.
We're never gonna do a fucking Dracula, though.
That's not true.
Fuck. Well, what does the monster do in Frankenstein? It just tosses that kid into the lake.
Yeah.
Still amazing. It's so good.